I went to the local grocery store, filled out an application, and gave it to the manager. And the manager looked at it real quick and looked at me, didn't ask me any questions, just basically said, I'll call you in a couple days. And I know that she was looking at the fact that I'd marked that I had a criminal history, and so she's not going to call me. I'm not going to hear about this job.
So that's what you were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what you've said to me, you know, as you've struggled with applying for jobs in several places, kind of you were thinking that they were already worried about your criminal record.
Right.
Okay. So what else? So what was your action that you have down there?
Well, I gave up. I mean, I know she's not going to call. I know that, you know, she sees that I marked yes, that there is a criminal history. And she's not going to call me. I'm not going to have a chance to explain everything to her. So I just walked out of the store and kind of saw it as a wasted time.
So you never got into your talents and the things that you've talked to me about, and that you've worked at a prior bakery before, or that kind of thing?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so as we've talked about, these are continued patterns that kind of keep happening, whether it's sometimes whether you're applying for a job, or when I sent you over to Voc Rehab, you didn't feel real comfortable because you didn't want to go into a big explanation. So what I want you to do is look at these thinking traps, because a lot of times what happens, because you have extreme potential, and you show me the pictures of some of the cakes that you make, and I think if you can kind of get past that part of having that conversation about your criminal past and some of the things and where you are now and the progress you've made in your recovery and those kind of things, figuring out those traps before you get into it, you might portray yourself a little bit differently. So I want you to take a look at these and see what fits your situation. And you can read some of them.
Well, right off the bat, they will never hire me under all or nothing. I mean, I've got a criminal history. I'm never going to get hired. It's just a fact of life. I mean, I fill out applications. I don't get called back. I'm not going to get a job. I just need to accept that and go on.
So that's a block for you right now. That is definitely a trap. Okay.
A big trap.
So you can circle that one.
Let's see. And then certainly this one, I can't get a job because of my arrest record. I mean, it seems to piggyback that they're never going to hire me because of my record.
Okay.
So, I mean, does it make me feel helpless? Yeah. I feel like there's nothing I can do. I can't change my arrest record. I can't go back and delete my criminal history.
Right. So circle that one. There are strategies, so I want to get to that in some of our next steps, but I still want you to keep thinking about what are your biggest blocks.
Okay.
As far as trying to get a job.
Let's see.
Those two are pretty strong,
yeah.
though. I'm kind of hearing that same theme.
I think, looking at the list, I think that, those are the two biggest ones that are jumping out at me. I mean, my big thing is my criminal history. I've got a criminal record.
I hear you, and I understand you're frustrated with that. So would you be willing, if we practiced, that I could be the manager of the store, and we could kind of go through explaining about your criminal record, and kind of talk through this about they'll never hire me, because the skill sets you've told me about, sometimes you just need to sell it, and whether it's a pre-phone call, what do you think your options are?
Well, I always thought about, maybe if I went into a store to the bakery, that I could talk to someone who actually worked in the bakery and maybe even bring pictures and show them. And if I can get in talking to them, they could talk to the manager for me.
That's a really good idea, because then you kind of getting your foot in the door.
Right.
What else?
If I've got a friend maybe who works at a store or know someone that works at a store, maybe it might be another way in. I mean, I just need someone to give me that chance to explain my criminal history and explain that that's who I was, and now who I'm trying to be is different.
So you're ready to have the conversation. We probably need to practice what it needs to be. And then if you maybe meet somebody in the store, then we can kind of take those steps and start from there and go back. So Would you be willing to come in this Friday? So, because now that you have your application in, I'd like to go ahead and get this started so you can go back and maybe have that conversation with them.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right.